Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to our channel to get more updates, and if you are supporting the channel in one way or the other, all our subscribers, allow me to thank you in a very special way. The untold stories and the intrigues of the just concluded Jamhuri Day continue to be unpacked. Things that were hidden. I know we saw the little children that many have argued that were being misused when they were ferried to the venue to cheer on William Samoei Ruto, because I believe the government had got this fear that they were going to be humiliated because this Jamhuri Day fell on or against the backdrop of very sad faces of Kenyans, because people are crying foul, courtesy of the high cost of living that the government cannot address. And people are also talking about the empty chairs. I've seen a very heated argument. Others are saying that the empty chairs that we have seen were before, Kenyans were allowed to get into the venue. Others are saying that you cannot hide this. It is as big as pregnancy. Those are things that you cannot hide. But some of the hustlers are now coming out and revealing why they attended this venue, the Uhuru Gardens. And they are saying that some of them had been given money and t-shirts. Others were promised that when they get there, they would get something for lunch, something for mboga, something like 200, 500, 1,000 Kenya shillings. And I want us to get to this discussion because there is this hustler who is saying something that is very sad. In fact, he is comparing himself to a dog. He's saying that it is better to live in Kenya as a dog because you can get some leftovers than being in Kenya and surviving as a citizen. Kindly take a look.
So tusidanganyane, tuseme tu kweli. Hata saa hizi tukikuja hapa, mimi niliambiwa maybe nikipanda gari nitapata kitu kidogo. Kusema tu kweli. Tuseme kweli. Nikaona nikikuja labda nitapata kale kadogo, ninunue sukuma. Hiyo ndio imenileta my friend. Ukweli wa Mungu. Nasherekea, maybe wadozi wa Kenya ndio wanasherekea. Nimekuja na njaa,
Ulipiga kura mwaka uliopita. Matarajio yako yamefikiwa?
Matarajio hajafikiwa hata kidogo.
Ulikuwa unatarajia nini?
Nilikuwa natarajia angalau maisha isikue vile ilikuwa. Lakini chenye nimeona Kenya, nasema hata ni heri kuwa umbwa Kenya kuliko kuwa binadamu. Manake umbwa itakula kwa mtaro bila kuhangaika. Huku leo ukienda unapigwa makofi, saa zingine unalala njaa, unafanya kazi. Lakini umbwa italala njaa Kenya. Itatembea mahali popote ikikula.
The man who is speaking there is a hustler, but seemingly he's not a youth. This is a man that seems to have a family, and things are getting tougher for him, just like many of our Kenyans. Now, Kabando wa Kabando was saying something that, and I just want to see what Kabando wa Kabando is saying, that, dear Kenyans, we are 100% back to the darkest of Moi's Kanu days. Schools are forced to troop kids for Ruto shouts in liar-in-chief rallies as World Bank and IMF colonize the Kenyan Treasury and the Central Bank of Kenya. No trick can stop the tide against this regime of thieves and incompetence. You see, Kenyans no longer mince words. They share what they think should happen to this government. Kabando feels that there is a tide against this government that cannot be blocked. And if you wonder what the tide is, William Mutunga was saying this, the former Chief Justice, that were hustlers duped. And which do we celebrate, independence or resistance? In other words, William Mutunga is simply telling people we should resist this government. And in fact, there's a video that I want to do. I want us to discuss something about William Mutunga because he has been trending and there are divided opinions about his comments. I want us to the next video, a very interesting one about William Mutunga. And to see, if you see any sane human being trying to compare himself to a dog, then you know things have gotten to shove, because if there is one of the animals that human beings don't want to be compared to, is a dog. A dog is a faithful animal, but you don't compare someone to a dog. The question that came in is that they were told, if you come, you will get something. And of course, you've seen how people are scrambling for the umbrellas. There were goodies there. Maybe they are labeled Jamhuri Day, Happy Jamhuri Day. These are goodies that were being dangled so that people can come for this venue. And it is very clear that the members of the UDA, the leadership of the UDA, paid people, or they promised Kenyans that when you get there, you'll be given something. If you didn't get your share, you need to demand for it. Because some people were telling me that when this money was being given, some of them took this money, went and removed the t-shirts, they would come back again. People made some money, and this is the nature of the Kenya Kwanza regime. But then the biggest question is, this hustler is being asked whether he voted last time and whether his expectations have been met, and is saying that the expectations have not been met. Do you really believe, or do you really think that the expectations of Kenyans shall be met? Because if you have to start from the promises, like our lovely mothers were promised diapers for the first 3 months when they get babies. Hustlers were told they will be given jobs. We were told that the prices of the basic commodities would come down. Yet we see the exact opposite. But then, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at that hustler, is just a tip of an iceberg, because whatever he's going through is what most of us are going through. I mingle with people, we interact outside there, and parents are telling me that things are getting tougher. These days, when you meet someone having a soliloquy, someone talking to himself, you know, just anajiongelesha pale mtaani, the chances are that this person is not mad, he has not gone berserk. This man or lady is thinking about the tough economic times that we are going through. I hope you've seen people just walking and just talking and they don't know what they're talking about. People are so much worried. If you go to the hospitals, the level of stress and depression is getting higher and higher because people don't have jobs. And when they wake up every day, they wake up to, you know, sad news that, oh, Chirchir and Murkomen have signed deals and people are being duped in the oil deal, corruption in the edible oil. And then William Ruto has the guts of telling people that he has stabilized the economy. I mean, which economy has he stabilized? Because I know there are indicators, and if you bring Ndindi Nyoro, he will give you some economic terms that will confuse you. By the time you get out of that conversation, you will be more bewildered than you were before. But those are rhetorics. You know, as a common man, there are things that you just need to see and you understand that Kenya is not headed to the right direction. When the Council of Economy, the Kenya Kwanza team of economic advisors, tells you that there is a lot of wastage in the country, David D himself says that, then you don't need to bring Ndindi Nyoro to explain to us that the government is in the wrong direction. When Nyakango comes and tells us that civil servant salaries are being increased, inflated, and it's getting into people's pockets at the expense of hungry Kenyans, You don't need to to bring someone to explain to us the direction that the country is taking. When the global prices of oil are getting lower, yet our energy minister, Chirchir, is telling us that we should expect the prices to go higher, yet in our neighboring countries, they are lowering the prices of petroleum products, then you don't need any economist to come and waste our time to explain to us. When you are told that we have lost billions of shillings in the edible oil, we have lost some shillings in some deals, dubious deals, you don't need Kenya, any of the Kenyan experts, economic experts, to come and convince us otherwise. And these are the reasons why when hustlers look at this government, they regret. In fact, if elections were to be held today, many people would not vote for William Samoei Ruto. Those who still have Raila phobia would stay at home. They will not vote for William Samoei Ruto. Because wait a minute, after Christmas, people will be staring at the reality of taking the children to school. And I believe that prices of everything has skyrocketed, books and everything. And this is why when this hustler is crying and is saying that it is better to live as a dog in the country, he knows what he's talking about. Because there are people who are just tired. Yet our government still sends people like Kimani Chungwa, and they still want us to believe that we are suffering because of the previous regime. That when our airports are leaking, it is because of Uhuru Kenyatta. When we have frequent and rampant, devastating blackouts, something that is being mocked by even the neighboring countries, then it is because of the previous regime. And this is the reason why I'm telling you that 1 year down the line, we still don't have a serious government. Because if William Ruto was very serious about fixing the economy the way they are saying, number one, he should have instructed the members of parliament, members of the Kenya Kwanza leadership to shut up and stop talking about the previous regime. And then they should have stopped any blame game and told Kenyans, give us time. When you give a government time and you don't hear things like corruption and undercut deals, then even the level of trust goes up. But if you ask the city lawyer Ahmed Nasir, who understands the level of corruption in the judiciary, in the executive, in the parliament, he will tell you that there is no hope. And many people say that the only reason why Ahmed Nasir understands the corruption in the country is because you can only set a thief to catch a thief. I don't know why. And so, ladies and gentlemen, things are very tough. Someone is telling me that that man was called by State House, someone from State House, so that he can be given the money that was promised. I don't know how. Kenya is also full of mysteries that we can't understand. How do you assess the Kenyan economy? Has William Ruto stabilized the economy? I don't think so, because the indicators are there. Unemployment rate is really skyrocketing. We have reports that our shillings has not stabilized against the dollar. We continue taking loans. And if there is something that bothers me, and this is what I want to finish with, is the fact that we are listening to the IMF, to the World Bank, and they're dictating our terms and how we should live. That when they say we remove the subsidies, we remove them. When they say that we stopped kazi kwa vijana, we stop them. When they say we increase taxes, we increase. Why? Because we don't care about Kenyans. We care so much about the international community because they're the one who produced our government.